The Obama administration is moving ahead with easing sanctions against Iran. The plan is supposed to keep Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, but not everyone thinks it's a good deal.
Well, Congress is against it, while Israel and even some Arab countries are warning that Iran can't be trusted. Caitlin Burke has that story.
The White House calls it a chance at diplomacy.
We have the opportunity to test whether or not this can be resolved between the international community and Iran peacefully, which is the preferred way that it would be resolved.
Iran has agreed to allow its nuclear program to be inspected daily, limit its uranium enrichment, and cut back some of its stockpile. In return, the U.S. and other countries will ease up on economic sanctions.
President Obama says the deal will help prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. But critics say it's unlikely to slow down their nuclear program at all.
I'm by no means confident that this deal, at this point or even later, is going to prevent Iran from doing what it's been wanting to do for years and been working very hard to do, spending a lot of money to do, and that's the development of nuclear weapons.
A majority of U.S. senators support new sanctions on Iran, even as international negotiations are ongoing.
I think creating a sanctions regime that is an insurance policy and also creates leverage for us is incredibly important.
But the White House is pushing back against that idea, saying further sanctions will close the door to diplomacy. Meanwhile, Vice President Biden tried to ease some of Israel's concerns. He was in the Holy Land Monday for the memorial service of former Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. Israel might be taking a wait-and-see attitude for now, but attacking Iran is still an option.
It's a last resort for Israel to actually go and use military force to destroy the nuclear weapons facilities. But the Israelis seriously haven't taken it off the table. One hopes that President Obama has not taken that option off the table.
Iran and the six world powers have 6 months to come to a final deal. President Obama says if Iran doesn't live up to the terms of the agreement, tougher sanctions will be quickly implemented. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
In other news, there's a new development in the recent IRS scandal. John Jessup has that story from our news bureau in Washington. John?
Gordon, the FBI is not planning to file any criminal charges after the IRS's scrutiny of Tea Party and conservative groups in the run-up to the 2012 election. FBI officials tell the Wall Street Journal they didn't find the kind of political bias or enemy hunting that would amount to a violation of criminal law. Now, the IRS did admit to holding up the application of conservative groups for tax-exempt status, which prevented many of them from having a voice in the presidential election. Republicans have questioned whether the Obama administration can honestly investigate itself. The probe isn't over yet, but charges are unlikely. Well, not enough young people are signing up for Obamacare for the program to work the way it's supposed to. It needs younger adults who are healthy to sign up in large numbers to help pay for the costs of older Americans who have more health problems. But so far, younger people between 18 and 24 only account for 24% of the total enrollment. Experts say that number should be closer to 40% to keep insurance premiums down. If more young people don't sign up before the enrollment period ends in March, many people will face higher insurance rates next year. Well, the National Security Agency may no longer be storing your phone records, but that doesn't mean the NSA surveillance program is necessarily over. President Obama's review committee has recommended phone companies start storing phone records instead of the NSA, but they don't want the job either. They tell the Associated Press they're worried about legal problems and lawsuits. For instance, if hackers broke into their systems and got unauthorized access to phone records. One privacy expert says in the end, it really doesn't matter. He says the phone companies would be doing exactly what the government is doing right now, and people still would lose privacy. And Gordon, I shudder to ask, but how much more privacy can Americans lose?
You start to wonder how much we have voluntarily given all of this information away, and unknowingly to the government, to the NSA, but knowingly to lots of companies, whether it's our Google search terms, what's in our emails, what's in our text messages, how long our phone calls are, where we place phone calls, all that GPS data. We're facing a new generation where there's no sense of privacy, that everything we do is public and we want to post about it. We want to use Instagram for it. We want to have Facebook on it. We want to tell the world all the details of our lives. So is there privacy anymore? And I would argue probably not.